friends, welcome to Change Started and welcome to the series of Change Trails. So today we have Udit Sood, who is the founder of EcoRite. So EcoRite is a brand which is helping the planet get rid of the plastics one bag at a time. So Udit Sood is a IIM Calcutta alumni. He has done various stints in the corporate world as well. So thanks Udit, thanks for your time. Welcome to Change
Most
Trails.
welcome.
So why don't you start with your journey? I mean, how did it begin? I mean, where you come from, what have you done, and how did this story begin?
All right. I post my MBA, I started my career with Hindustan Unilever, which was a great platform. The training program put me through a lot of rigorous sales and marketing training. Post which I joined the startup world by going to Zomato.
Mm-hmm.
And at Zomato, I had ended up having a lot of different kinds of responsibilities, and that kind of gave me the confidence, to take this plunge into my own entrepreneurship journey.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Zomato, at a very young age, I was given a lot of responsibility. I kind of I saw how the functioning of a young startup, with its chaos, with its growth, managing that. So I think that was what gave me a lot of confidence. And then post that, I always wanted to do something that was, good for the environment. It sounds cliche, but from the very beginning, I've been brought up in a household which, has a very severe allergy to plastic.
Okay.
So, we never had plastic in our home. It was always about, not wasting stuff. So, ingrained, these values were a bit ingrained. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to do as an entrepreneur, it was at the forefront that I just don't want to do some business. I want to do something which has a larger purpose, which has a larger impact on society beyond just the financial gains. Because for financial gains, I think, for working in the corporate world was a great, it was great fun, so it's not about, it's about the bigger picture. And I think if all of us are aware about the kinds of problems that plastic causes. It's not a secret. We can see it. We see it on the roads. We see it in the news every day. And beyond just plastics, we see the kind of impact unsustainable human growth has had on the environment. One of my things that I like to talk about is that when we measure human success, a country's success, we measure in terms of GDP. Right? GDP has no environment component in it.
Absolutely.
So, what happens is that all of our measures of progress are about how, as human beings, we are developing further, more industrialization, but it comes at a cost of the environment, which is something that we don't see immediately. We see a little bit in the long term. And I thought that if we could find a way to merge sustainability with business, merge sustainability with our consumers' lives, then we can continue to grow, but just in a way that is more mindful of the environment. And I think that was what the thought was. And, I picked up plastic bags because it was just the most obvious thing out there. It's like you can see it. And, every time, even then, when I used to go to a shop, and if I bought 3 or 4 different things, they'd put them in 3 or 4 different plastic bags and put it in one large plastic bag and give it to me. And I always had to say, no, wait, stop. It's okay. And a lot of shopkeepers say, nahi sir, free hai. And like the problem is not the money that I have to pay. The problem is the environmental impact. So that's what I thought, that if we can create consumer products that consumers like you and I would like to carry, then sustainability is not something that you have to do. It's something that fits in with your lifestyle. And that is what we are trying to do.
Absolutely. So awesome. I mean, your thoughts are relatable so very much, because even in my childhood, so my mom used to say, I mean, if I'm going to bring a milk packet, she used to say, take a bag with you and then you can put the milk packets and then come, and you don't have to take the plastic bags. So plastic is a very, very innovative and very, I think, transformational product which came into the world. but it has so much, so much deteriorating impact on the environment.
Yeah, and see, what I like to also say is that um, not all plastic is bad. Like today, your phone is made of plastic, my laptop is made of plastic, your specs frame will have elements of plastic, but as long as the plastic is recyclable and reused, it's something that we can still live with. I think we should find alternatives, but that's a bigger problem to solve. What is the easiest thing to solve is the lowest hanging fruit is to get rid of single-use plastic at least. You know, like plastic bags, plastic bottles. Like I just carry my metal bottle of water everywhere. You know, and in most places, airports and all, you can get like a refill of water also.
Absolutely.
You know, you just have to work a little hard. So if you can let go of a bit of convenience, and you enter a bit of mindfulness, I think it's very easy to, you know, find a way to replace plastic.
Absolutely.
Single use at least. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's where EcoRite came in. So tell us in your journey, when did EcoRite happen?
So EcoRite happened about close to the middle of 2017.
Okay.
When I started EcoRite, it was a dual thought that was there. One was to create consumer products, and the other was to create awareness of the problem. Because a lot of people knew that it is a problem, but how much of a problem was not apparent. We were very lucky in the sense, we as in the earth is very lucky that most governments around the world started waking up in late 2017, 2018 and started banning plastic. Even in India, you would have heard Delhi's banned plastic. I think Rajasthan has had a ban on plastic for the longest time, but we started becoming aware of these things. So then it became a little easier for us to create the great consumer products and consumers knew why they needed to buy. So it started in 2017. We started in a purely online model because the target audience that we had were our millennials and a bit of Gen Z, which we knew that spend most of their time online. That's where they're now discovering products. Right now, that's where they're exploring new stuff as well. You know, lesser people are going to the shops to explore rather than they find things online through ads and stuff. So we started doing an online first kind of model. And we started selling through our website and Amazon in India and the US.
Okay.
So that was how we started. Now we're selling on website, and also we are present in about 14 countries worldwide on Amazon.
Wow.
And through our website, we sell globally. So, obviously we get lots of consumers from the US, UK, India, but we also get people all the way from Greenland, Papua New Guinea, all of these places where, obviously there are still consumers that find us. And it's great to see that globally people have the thought that, plastic needs to go. It's just about now growing that.
Yes. So can you, Udit, can you elaborate a little more on sustainable fashion as such? I don't know whether it's sustainable living, if your brand will come under sustainable living. Yeah. So if you can elaborate more on sustainable living and the kind of stuff or raw materials which you use to manufacture the products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we come under both sustainable fashion, which is a subset of sustainable living in general. So sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where to start from. It's a very long story. So sustainability has multiple facets, right? One is obviously say no to plastic, correct? That makes you sustainable. The other thing is that a lot of products that are made right now are made from the point of view of, it's called fast fashion, right? So it's something which you wear for a few times. It loses its value, like a t-shirt, it'll start sagging, the color will run, and then you throw it away. Now that also has a very, very large toll on the planet, because imagine for a few, like saying wearing 10 times, that t-shirt has a lot of effort that has gone in, right from the farmer to the manufacturer, to the dyeing, to the packing, to the transport of the goods from, for example, if a t-shirt is sold in the US, it's a very high chance that it is grown somewhere, either the cotton is grown in Gujarat or maybe in Tamil Nadu, then it's made into a t-shirt, then it, gets shipped all the way from here to the US where there is warehouse cost. So it's a lot of energy, lot of water, lot of everything consumed for a very short period of time. So when we wanted to become a sustainable brand, we realized that our products need to last long, because our business model cannot be that your product will get spoiled in a few uses, then you'll buy from us again. We want you have that one product with you for lifetime, and every time you use the product you remember us, and then you say, okay, I want something else, let me check out this brand because they make great products. So I think that is one of the aspects of sustainability which is very important, to make durable products. So we started off with fabrics of jute and cotton, because those fabrics are the more natural, eco-friendly. Since then we have also introduced fabrics like recycled PET bottles. So basically fabric that's made from discarded plastic and then made into fabric, which is, in my opinion, one of the most sustainable things, because not only are you not using more plastic, but you're also taking out plastic from the environment and making product into it. So it has a double sustainable impact. The other thing that we are using right now is both recycled cotton and organic cotton. One of the thoughts is, like I said, right, so many things get discarded. Why do we need to grow it from scratch again to make a product? Can we not take products that already exist, that have been discarded, and figure out a way to give them a second life? So we've been using recycled cotton also since we launched. And it has got great, like, people who care about the environment understand the fact that so much lesser toll on the environment has gone to make this bag, and it replaces plastic.
Absolutely.
So that is the kind of product journey that we have expanded into other product categories through a lot of consumer feedback. So one thing great about the sustainability space is that the people who care about it really want to do more. They reach back, okay, can you make this kind of bag? I think it'd be great if I had a sustainable option. Can you make this product? And so through that we have launched lunch bags, laptop sleeves, laptop bags, a lot of grocery range, like for the kitchen, if you want to put something in your fridge but don't want to use plastic. When you go shopping and you need multiple small bags to carry. So we've expanded to about 30 product lines, and we have about 300-400 SKUs that have different areas of sustainability now.
Okay, cool. So you spoke about your customers. So again, I mean, I would like to add, so your business would be a very, very labor intensive business, right? So
yes,
I'm sure it would increase the cost. So do customers appreciate the effort which goes into building the product? I mean, that's where the cost will come in, affordability will come in. So though a user might be conscious about sustainability, but when he sees the price, he will not appreciate the thought and the background work, but he will just look at the cost and pick up the product. So share your.
Yes. See, one thing that we realized, Arun, is that just because something is sustainable doesn't mean it needs to be very expensive. That was also one of the thoughts that we had when we started, that sustainable products are either very expensive, so there will be regular brands who will be selling sustainable products at 2x the price, or they will be very boring, like the old jute bags that we used to carry around, in school as well as lunch bags. But as a grown-up here, you look at that bag and say, "No, nahi le jana ye." So we found that if you actually, again, like in your manufacturing also, if you're conscious about waste, conscious about building the right product, then it does not need to cost that much extra than a regular product. Yes, it will be a little bit more because, we put a lot of effort in sourcing the right products, in getting eco-friendly, azo-free inks and dyes for our bags. All of our inks and dyes are tested for human safety, environment safety. So, obviously all of that adds the cost, but it's not that much more. And if you're able to tell the customer the story about the product, then, I don't see that, like, customers seem to be okay. Yes, of course, some customers can come back saying, it's expensive. And that is a feedback that we have to take. How do we make sure that we can get a better product and not increase the price even to this level? So the customer, and most customers in my experience have, liked the product. The other thing, Varun, is what you brought up, right? Because it's a labor-intensive industry, it's very important for us that while we are doing good for the environment, that we take care of the labor as well, because it is the, most vulnerable part of society. So we are very proud to say that all of our manufacturing facilities are ethically and socially audited. That means that there is there are correct safety norms, correct sanitation norms, correct wages as per the law. There are grievance committees. So the labor, and some of the labor that have been working in our partner factories have been working there for the last 20 years. Because they understand, it's not like काम नहीं होगा तो पैसा नहीं मिलेगा. They are salaried employees of the company. So which is why, yes, it increases our prices, but we are able to put up such a great product in return that consumers understand.
Awesome. So you spoke about sourcing. So I would like to just check on from where do you source your raw materials from, and you spoke about the colors and dyes. So is it something you do it yourself, or again that also you source it from somewhere else?
Yeah. So there are some very large companies in India that make eco-friendly and not human-friendly dyes and inks. So we always ensure that we buy from these. So there is always a local alternative available that we don't know what the composition and quality will be. So we make sure that we source only from these places. And obviously, it's a little difficult for us to do every process in-house. So which is why the partners that we work with also, we have working. So I think it's very important in this business to have partners with the same point of view,
Yes.
Who you understand the vision. So when someone who's doing our printing, they know that agar cost upar ja raha hai, so they can mention that to us, but they will never cut corners and use something which is not correct. So that is why, and it's taken a while. It's taken us the first 6 months, a year, went a lot of in this education and explain to them. But now we're lucky that we have these partners that understand our vision and also work accordingly.
Absolutely. And
like you're saying, raw material is sourced locally.
Okay.
So we source all of our raw material. Most of the cotton comes from Gujarat. Some of it comes from Tamil Nadu, and the jute comes from Calcutta.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
West Bengal, yeah.
Awesome. So, you spoke about partners, right? So that way you are encouraging and educating your partners as well to have a sustainability mindset. Probably those guys might not be so much conscious about environment and sustainability, but you educating them, that is also bringing a change within the society at a larger scale, right? So that is good. So how's the consumer feedback, and how is the growth you are seeing over last 2.5 years?
Our consumer feedback, touchwood, has been overwhelmingly positive. From the point of view, if you look at our products on Amazon globally, 90% of our products are rated 4.5 out of 5 and higher, which is for us, that is the most important thing.
Yes.
That real consumers come and give us feedback. Every bad feedback is looked into in detail, but by and large, consumers are happy, and every time they aren't, it just gives us something to improve on. That's all. And we have grown well. Like I told you, we have because we've been growing well, we managed to launch a lot of different product lines, launch on various different platforms. So it's going well.
Okay. So any numbers you want to show, or you want to keep that aside?
No, I would prefer to keep the numbers aside.
Okay, cool. No worries. Yeah. So what is your plan? What is your future plans now? And especially now COVID is there. How are you thinking to take your brand forward?
So as COVID hit all of us very badly, business was shut for a few months. For a young startup our scale, it is difficult for us to, not be working. So, we did a lot of effort during COVID to figure out how consumer behavior will change post this. And one of the things that we were able to see the demand happening is people asking for reusable cotton masks. So that's something that we launched in June as soon as the lockdown eased in India. So we were able to launch reusable cotton masks, and we are also a lot of consumers are going to be spending a lot more time at home. So we're looking at more eco-friendly alternatives for people at home, not just going out, but what can we give them to use within their home, in their daily activities. So we're going to be launching next month a bunch of other products, a lot of products that consumer would use to go eco-friendly at home as well.
Okay, so one just a follow up on that. Personally, what I was observing during the COVID times, that a lot of plastic is back, especially in the groceries,
Yeah,
right? So a lot of people who are going to the grocery stores are preferring to have a plastic bag. So
yeah,
mindset was changing pre-COVID. I mean, things were changing. People were bringing their own bag. Once the COVID struck, when they were going to the grocery store, they were asking for the plastic bag because they can throw it out.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you see the similar observation, and how are you planning to educate? I mean, because you are in the right sector. Because I did it
Yeah,
through my platform, through
yeah.
education. But how are you helping the community? So there is no fear, and how should we bring the bags?
See, I think plastic increased a lot in those few months. That every time someone went shop, I think with everything that we are facing right now, it's comes down to two things: education and communication. Uh, it was very difficult. Like if you had told me in April, you tell people not to use plastic bags, I would not have been able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do not, the science behind the disease was still evolving. Like people are still figuring out how it works, right? So it wasn't possible for us to say, okay, you don't use plastic bags. However, now we have found that, and we wrote a blog about this as well a couple of months ago, is that during COVID, the plastic that is getting re-entered into our life is definitely fastening the issue of global warming, plastic consumption. That later on, uh, this the pandemic that will be caused by plastic will be much higher than what we are facing right now. And also, um, what we have found in this COVID, like if you notice that most people during those few months used to wear surgical masks. Now, surgical masks are for doctors and for medical staff because they need that level of protection. For most people going out, and those who are not, and it is important for them because they are dealing straight with the patient and they have to be within like half a meter proximity with the patient. So for them, yes, it is very important, and which is why it should be reserved for them. But for everyone else, we just use a mask once and throw it away is adding so much trouble to our problem, to this problem of plastic, which will hit in a few years from now. And I think we started doing education about that through our social media channels, through writing blogs, and like just from the fact of um, our sales also increasing for masks and tote bags, we see people coming back to normal. And it's unfortunate, but we can't do anything about those first few months because if you had asked the best doctors in the world, scientists, they also didn't know whether COVID would spread from plastic or from cotton. So people took a decision based on the limited information they have. But now that we have more information, now that we are more educated, we're just trying to communicate it better.
Absolutely. And one thing I would like to tell viewers, I mean, not only you are getting rid of the plastics through EcoRide, but you are bringing very, very cool designs. So I have looked up at your
Yes.
website, and I mean, your designs are brilliant. So tell us, what is the stories behind it? How do you go about
Yes.
designing the stuff, right?
Absolutely. One thing that I forgot to mention, I'm so happy that you brought it up, is that when we started making these products, we realized that firstly we want to give people a product that is appealing, that today's youth will want to carry. So it needs to be well designed. Because if it's a boring eco-friendly product, okay, maybe you'll use it once, maybe you'll use it twice, but it's not something you'll remember to take. It should be a memorable product in your life. And that is what our designs are about. The other thing is that we looked at our designs as like a notice board, as like a canvas that we can paint and create a message of sustainability through those designs. So why can't the designs talk about sustainability if the bag is sustainable?
Absolutely.
So a lot of our designs, if you see, are noticed around nature, around how magnificent nature is, or about the kinds of plastic problems that we are seeing right now because of plastic, or about global warming. If you read about our designs on our website, you'll see that why each design is made. So there is a design of a panda that is holding on to a stick of bamboo, and underneath it says bamboozled. That's because global warming is reducing the growth of bamboo, which is what giant pandas eat. So if we continue on this path of global warming, eventually we will run out of food.
Yes.
for the pandas.
Exactly.
So, and now through that, when someone sees a design, yes, it's cute, it's appealing, but then when they read about it, they understand, okay, yes, global warming is such something big.
Exactly. Exactly. So it helps in educating. I mean, you are not educating, not
Yes.
only educating the consumers, but people who are seeing that consumer holding that bag or
Yes.
that product. So wonderful concept. I
Yes.
mean, I really appreciate that you have brought those designs into the picture. So really appreciate that.
Great.
So I mean, final few questions. So how do you compare? I mean, there are many global brands exist, right, in the bags category, especially. So you are
Yes.
kind of competing with them, maybe the Gucci's or
Mm.
the Marks and Spencer or the big brands, right? So
Yeah.
how do you compete with them, and what is your strategy in this market?
See, I honestly, we don't feel that we are in competition with them.
Mhm.
Um, we exist in a space that is unique in the sense that um, there is no way that we can compete with a Gucci right now. The value proposition is very different. Those are bags that cost thousands of dollars, which people carry as status symbol.
Correct.
We are just, our entire point of view is that whatever you use in your everyday life, we want to slowly make that sustainable. Maybe one day we'll get to the stage where we compete with them, but today it is more about, entering different parts of your life, making sure that there is sustainability everywhere. And it's about creating that umbrella of sustainability around your home. If that exists, then you will slowly find sustainable alternatives for everything. And it's honestly, a lot of brands are right now making the effort to
Yes.
go sustainable.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
Like I said, it is still priced at a premium, but it will come down. For us, we are successful if we can still make you think about sustainability. Like, for example, I'm not making sustainable glasses, right? But the next time you go out, if you have enough sustainability in your life through EcoRide, you might ask for an option at least. That how do I, is there a sustainable option for this? So I think that is what we're doing. So we're not in competition, but it's like we want to exist with all the other brands in the world and make sure that we all up our game in sustainability.
Absolutely. I mean, see, I mean, there should not be any competition, especially in this space, because even if a big brand is doing it, it is helping the environment. So, kind
Yes,
of, we should be encouraging them to go ahead with whatever they're doing.
absolutely,
So, in a way,
absolutely.
yeah, right. So, are you? I mean, is it a self-sustainable startup, or you have picked up funding and you have?
No, we haven't picked up funding. It's a conscious decision. We thankfully the way that we are growing with the consumers that we have that love the brand, we are now approaching profitability.
Awesome.
So which is why it's not something that we are looking at funding right now. Might be little later in the future in case we want to do some experimentation, but right now it's a self-sustained startup.
So, what is the story behind the brand name EcoRite?
Just right for the ecosystem.
Awesome.
And we also didn't want to make it very complicated.
Right.
If it's a very, very difficult to understand name, it kind of loses the point. Eco-friend, being sustainable is also about being minimalist.
Yes.
Being simplistic and minimalistic, removing clutter from our lives, using lesser things. So the name needed to reflect that. What is this? It's EcoRite. It's explanatory. It's right for the ecosystem.
Yes. Cool. So my final question, I mean, you alluded to
Sure.
you being always conscious about plastic-free life right from your childhood. But what is your personal connect with environment and with nature? I mean, just on the personal level, leave the brand.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just everywhere around me. It's like if you're ever gone for a vacation, it's always been to an environment centric thing. It's to be the hill station or go for a hike or go to the sea. So it's always. But I'll tell you what my personal connect is that I've always found the environment marvelous. There are just so many things that come together to make this earth work. And okay, I'm just like. And talk about my experience as a businessman, right? I need to put in so much effort in making sure that each piece works properly. But the environment just happens on its own. There is a balance that exists on its own. There is a reason why water is blue and it's beautiful, and the kind of benefits it gives us, and it all just happens because of this brilliant balance that we have. So I've always, found environment fascinating. How is this happening? There's this joke that says that, if trees gave Wi-Fi, maybe we won't cut them. They only give oxygen that we can breathe. Nobody's telling the trees to do that, but it exists and it keeps us alive. So I think that's what, it's just my personal connect is just the marvel that I have at what happens around us.
Absolutely. Very well said. So any final comments you want to give to the people to live a sustainable life? I mean,
I think when people think about sustainability, it's a little overwhelming. When you start reading about the issues that are happening, it's a sad thing to read about. And it gives a feeling of helplessness that, what can I as one individual do? And my thoughts on this are that it's not about a big change in your life. Forget about it like sab kuch aaj hi change karna hai. But can you change one thing? It's like one time you say no to a plastic bag, or one time you carry your own bottle. It's just these small things that really add up. And it's not something which we can solve in the next 1 year, 2 years maybe. But if we can all just make small changes, that we will get over this. So that's my only thing, is that, just be mindful about everyday choices. And if you can do that, we will definitely have a chance at saving this planet.
Yes. So thanks on ending on a lovely note, because we also say change starts from me and you. So it is me and you only who has to start this change.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Udit. Awesome. Thanks so much for your time and giving this story on EcoRight and your thoughts about
Most welcome.